I spent a whole day selling boxed lunches at the hospital. I planned to reward myself with the last one, but I accidentally saw an elderly man who could only eat bread, so I handed him the boxed lunch. I had the rich man, seeing how thoughtful I was, couldn't help but ask a few questions after learning that I was selling lunches to raise money for my mother's surgery. He was deeply moved. He thought I was a dutiful and good child. I politely said goodbye to him and was about to leave, but when the rich man heard my name, his expression changed dramatically. He rushed to catch up with me and, after taking a closer look, he noticed I looked strikingly similar to his son when he was young. He immediately decided to have me pretend to be his grandson to try and wake his son, who was in a vegetative state. It turned out that 8 years ago, the rich man's son fell in love with a country girl and had me, but the rich man strongly opposed it, and even stood in front of his son's car, causing a car accident. His son fell into a coma for 6 years. During these 6 years, his son often called out the names of his girlfriend and a boy. Doctors believed they were the people the patient cared about the most, and if they appeared by his bedside, it might wake him up. The rich man deeply regretted his actions from back then, and to make up for it, he wanted to help his son wake up as soon as possible. He immediately ordered a citywide search for the woman and the child, but unbeknownst to him, the woman had also been brought to the hospital due to the car accident. The doctors told me my mother's leg needed immediate treatment, or it would have to be amputated. When I went to pay, I only had 11 crumpled dollars. The nurse told me the surgery would cost $300,000 and asked if I had any other family, but I didn't know where my father was. To save money for my mom's treatment, I had to pick up trash bottles, beg, and sell boxed lunches. Until that day, I met the rich man, so I gave him the last boxed lunch I had. He decided to have me impersonate his grandson and stay by his son's side to stimulate him. I called out "Dad" a few times, and the comatose man actually reacted. This made the rich man very happy. He not only covered my mother's surgery fee, but also brought her to his son's hospital room for better treatment. When my mother was pushed into the room, she saw the man who looked so much like her husband before she could take a closer look. The servant who was taking care of the man pulled the curtain and looked at her with disdain, thinking my mother wasn't worthy of staying in the same room as their young master. The next day, the rich man's scheming cousin arrived at the hospital with her son. Her goal was to adopt her son under the man's name so he could inherit the billions of family wealth. As soon as she entered the room, she saw me sitting by the man's side. She had already heard that the rich man had found someone to impersonate his grandson, and feared I might compete with her son for the inheritance, so the scheming woman was full of hostility toward me. Just